So the next thing that we're going to cover is knife skills, so cutting things up. So the point of cutting things up is obviously to get them into pieces that fit in our mouths so that we can eat them. And there are essentially three basic knife skills, three basic cutting techniques that we're going to cover today, which again will get you everything that you need to know to cook a large variety of fast paleo food. So the first one is slicing or julienning. That one is getting things into long, thin strips. And then we're going to do dicing, which is smaller pieces, and then mincing, which is something that we do with very aromatic things to make them small and distribute the flavors easily. So we're going to actually make a dish today in the instructional video, and the things that we're going to use in the dish, I have a red bell pepper first. Here is half of a yellow bell pepper. In addition to that, we have a red onion. We have a couple mushrooms, some green onions, we have a jalapeno pepper, a few cloves of garlic, and then our meat for today that we're going to be using, this is a piece of hanger steak. So before we start cutting things up, obviously we have to wash them, so that's where we're going to go next. So the next thing that we're going to cover is washing your vegetables. Washing your vegetables is very important. Particularly with non-organic vegetables, you're going to have pesticide residues which you need to wash off. Even with non-organic vegetables, you can have air pollution, you can have residue from transport. You really don't know what kind of residues are going to be on your vegetables. So it's a very, very easy and very quick thing that you can do to promote food safety. So that's the idea of washing your vegetables. So washing our vegetables. Here's our red pepper, our yellow pepper, our green onions, and our jalapeno. And we're just going to throw these in the colander. Make sure it's cold water. You can rinse them off. I like to give them a quick spray down. Just a few seconds. Make sure that you rinse them off completely. Then you can take them out. You can take your kitchen towel and just give them a quick wipe down. And all that does is prevents you from getting extra moisture in your dishes. So just rinse off the excess water there. So mushrooms is the one thing that you do slightly differently. There are three ways of thinking about how to clean mushrooms. You can rinse them like we did the vegetables. You can do nothing at all, which some people like to do, or you can give them a quick wipe down. I tend to like to wipe them down because I find that rinsing them can have the tendency to get them waterlogged because mushrooms are very porous, and I kind of don't like the taste of horse manure. So I just like to give them a quick wipe down with a damp cloth to remove any obvious dirt and manure, and then you have a clean mushroom that's ready to be cut. So now that our vegetables are properly washed, the next thing that we're going to go over is basic knife skills, cutting techniques. So like I said, there are three of them that you basically need to know. The first one is slicing, also known as julienning, and what this is going to do is it's going to get your vegetable in about I'd say a 2 to 3 inch piece that's very thin. So we're going to start with slicing by slicing a couple peppers, and we're going to slice up some mushrooms. So let's start with a whole red bell pepper. The way I like to do these is first to take the pepper, then we're going to cut it in half. After that, you can remove the core. Now I like to keep things as simple as possible, so I like to just remove the core by hand. And a lot of people will take the pith out and worry about the seeds. I don't really care to. I like to keep things simple, so just break it in half like that, cut it in half like that, remove the core, and then you're going to get into slicing it. So I'm going to take half of the red bell pepper, and I'm going to place it. This is kind of a matter of preference. This is what you like. The inside is more porous and easier to cut from. So what I like to do is take it and then bring it into quarters. And then all you're going to do from there is you're going to take your chef's knife and you're going to cut it into thin strips. Julienne strips is what these are called. So here is our quartered core red bell pepper, and we're going to get into some slicing. So all we're going to do, the first thing we need to worry about is we want to cut our hands. So the basic way to do that is to hold the vegetable down and we're going to cut with the blade of the knife against our knuckles. This is a very, very cool knife skill technique. So we're going to take the pepper, hold it down, place the point of the knife in front of what we're cutting, and then just move the knife toward the cutting board. And that gives us julienne red bell pepper. Now we can take our time doing this at first. There's really no reason to rush. And we're just going to do this repeatedly. And one of the keys here is to maintain consistent width, consistent size. Food is going to cook more evenly if the food is in the same sizes. So about the same width is what we're going to aim for here. So one more cut, and that's our julienne red bell pepper. So here's our yellow pepper in half. Again, I removed the core. All we're going to do is take it, cut it in half again. There's your quarter, and we're just going to move like this. So we have our julienne. Do the same thing for the other quarter. The more practice that you get, the easier this becomes. And then we end up with evenly julienned yellow peppers to go with our nice evenly julienned red peppers. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to slice is the mushrooms. One thing you have to do before you slice mushrooms is remove the stem from the inside. So we're going to do that real quickly. We can do that with our hands. Just palm the mushroom like this, remove your stem. You're going to place the mushroom on the board. Now again, consistency is key with slicing. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim for a width of slices with our mushrooms that is similar to our bell peppers. So again, everything is about having the blade of the knife from the knuckles for safety and grounding the food. This is where the safety comes from. So we're just going to take the mushroom and work slices. Like that. Its speed is like that. And we have our sliced mushrooms ready to go with our bell peppers ready to be cooked. Now that we have our sliced mushrooms, we're just going to take them. We're going to set them aside, and now we're going to go on to dicing.